Hi everyone and welcome to the Festival of Apprenticeships, powered by Pathway Group in partnership with BT Group. Festival of Apprenticeships is all about celebrating and promoting apprenticeship opportunities. This week you're going to hear from a wide range of organisations who all have apprenticeship opportunities available. You'll learn how to apply, find out what it's like to be an apprentice at their organisation, and more information in terms of who's involved, what's involved, and what you need to do to get involved. You'll hear from organisations like BT Group, EY, Severn Trent Water, Mace Group, British Airways, Lloyds Banking Group, and many, many more. We also hear from universities like London South Bank University and Manchester Metropolitan University, who are also degree apprenticeship providers. Now, I'm going to hand over to my colleague Martin, who's going to talk you through the basics of apprenticeships. Thank you.
So, what is an apprenticeship? An apprenticeship is a paid job where you, the employee, also the apprentice, gains valuable experiences within that working environment. So with this real work experience, which is also known as on-the-job training, you're going to be working with experienced professionals within the organisation. They're going to be mentoring and coaching you to develop all these new skills and abilities. However, at least 20% of your time, you're going to be doing what's known as off-the-job training. This off-the-job is where you could be in a classroom environment or you could be studying online for essential areas within that job role that you're completing. So a typical question when thinking of considering an apprenticeship programme is how long will it take? Well, very similar to college and university, there is a varying length of these programmes. However, typically an apprenticeship lasts for 1 year up to 5 years. But again, it depends on the level and the occupational area that you move into. So when considering what type of apprenticeship and what level you want to go through, the Institute for Apprenticeship is a good place to start. The information they have available on here helps you with career planning and understanding what options you have available to you as you start through that apprenticeship program. So the Institute for Apprenticeship has developed over 850 different apprenticeship programs, and this spans 15 occupational areas as well. So some of the key elements of an apprenticeship is to develop knowledge, skills and behaviours. The knowledge of the organisation, the industry that you're working in, the skills of that job role, whether they're technical skills or they're digital or any type of ability that you need, but also the behaviours. So this could come down to how you conduct yourself at all times or particularly during meetings. It can also be how you would sort of interact and communicate with colleagues as well. So it's important to remember, with an apprenticeship, you are in paid employment. So again, you are an employee, you're an apprentice, you're developing these skills. During this time, you're also going to be paid holiday pay. This means taking those days off work to make sure you're recuperated and time with friends and family. In addition to also having that hands-on work experience, really developing those skills and giving you these real-life experiences. Throughout your apprenticeship, you will undertake various formal assessments. These assessments could be examinations, they can be multiple choice questionnaires, they can be observations, they can be professional discussions. These are all working towards nationally recognised qualifications, and along the way, it's ensuring that you're developing the necessary knowledge, skills, behaviours, ultimately resulting in that completed apprenticeship. Now, as with all apprenticeships, you will undertake what's known as an endpoint assessment, also known as an EPA for short. This happens at the end of the apprenticeship programme. This is there to assess and test your knowledge, skills and behaviours that you've learned as an apprentice throughout that programme. Now, the EPA may vary depending on the apprenticeship programme that you go into. However, it could include a practical test, assessing those skills that you've learned as an apprentice. It could be presentation on a project that you've been completing. It could be a formal interview, so they could understand what knowledge, skills and behaviours you have developed. It could be a written examination or a multiple choice test. It could also be that workplace observation. So passing the EPA means that you've passed your apprenticeship, that you've gained the necessary knowledge, skills and behaviours as you've gone through and what you've been training for as well. However, there are different levels that you can achieve. Firstly, there is a fail result. However, this can be resat with obviously the support of a coach and mentor to ensure that you do pass it on the next occasion. You then have that passing mark, a merit and also distinction. As you progress up, it's that higher level, and it's showing that you've developed above and beyond what those expectations are. So again, it's important to remember with an apprenticeship, they're all about developing skills, gaining qualifications, and those real life world experiences of you within that job role. All these things that employers look for when you look to progress onto your next stage within your career. So now we're looking into how apprenticeships actually work. Now, depending on the employer and the provider, there are all different ways that these can work in terms of day release to go into college, places where you then have individuals come in to sort of work and study with you through independent training providers. But essentially, the apprenticeship is the same no matter what. You've got that real work experience. You've also got that learning that takes place to help you get the qualifications and also develop those skills. So essentially, apprenticeships are combining practical training with studying. Okay, so now we're going to talk a bit about the values of apprenticeships. So for myself, one of those big key takeaways is the experience that you could take away from the apprenticeship program. From day one, you're in an organisation and you've got all these people around you that will be able to pass over knowledge and skills and help you develop. Another one of those benefits is looking at the different variety of programs that are available. If you're in that position, you're looking at what those next steps look like in terms of career and job prospects. Apprenticeships are that fantastic way to get your foot on the ladder, start developing those skills, and come away with a recognised qualification at the same time. We have a bit of a phrasing within the industry, and it's a job, a better job, a career, and that's exactly what you could do through an apprenticeship program. Again, that's exactly what I've done and how I've sort of developed and moved through my career. Ultimately, where you're gaining these industry recognised qualifications, you're improving your employability prospects. So where you look at what those next steps of your career may look like, you have this experience, you've also got qualifications and skills that sort of support you as well. Another area that people sort of focus with is obviously you're being paid to learn at the same time. In addition to being paid, there are obviously student discounts that are available to you because essentially you are still in that learning program. So now as we explore more into apprenticeships, just like with the usual education routes, we have different levels of apprenticeship programs, and we're going to take a bit more look at a detail of those. So where we look at intermediate, which will then progress into advanced, into a higher, and also into degree level. So essentially the same levels of education you can get through college or even university in some cases can still be achieved through the apprenticeship route as well. So now we're going to just talk about the intermediate apprenticeship programs. These intermediate apprenticeships are there as an entry route into that career, that new job role that you may be undertaking. With these apprenticeships, they provide the basic knowledge and skills specific to that job role, and they are equivalent to a GCSE. They also operate as a level 2. So with advanced apprenticeships, these are providing more specialist knowledge and skills equivalent to A-levels, also known as level 3. The main thing to think about here is you don't have to have completed level 2 or an intermediate apprenticeship to progress on to level 3. It is knowing what knowledge and skills and behaviours you have already that allow you to progress into that job role. So now moving through into higher apprenticeship programs, these provide those high-level professional skills, and they can sort of be equivalent to your foundation degree. So again, if you're looking at sort of high-level college and also university, these can be routes and opportunities for you to progress through. But again, remembering that it is within that workplace environment, you're gaining the qualifications, but also having all these sort of new experiences to develop the broader knowledge. So, and then finally, moving into our degree apprenticeship programs. These are sort of a new area that apprenticeships have sort of explored into, but this is where you can have that equivalent qualification as if you're going to study at university in being the sort of equivalent to the bachelor's and the master's degree programs. So you may be thinking now, how can I find out more about apprenticeships or where can I apply for them? Well, the good thing to know is there is plenty of information available on the internet. You can go into Google and type in the likes of apprenticeship and you'll find out a wealth of information. If you're looking particularly for specific vacancies, then we'll cover those in just a moment. So the difference with apprenticeships and the likes of college and university is apprenticeships don't actually have specific deadlines. So it isn't sort of like a roll on, roll off with an academic year. Apprenticeships start pretty much every day of the week and can be at any time during that year. It all depends on the employer and then finding the right individual. You can apply directly through the employer's websites, or you can go through a number of other services, which we will go into in just a moment. You're not restricted to just applying for one apprenticeship. You can apply for as many as you like, but obviously you will be aware that you will have to go through that interview and potentially that assessment process for each one of those opportunities. So you can find lots of apprenticeships available on the Find an Apprenticeship Gov UK service. You can also use the UCAS apprenticeships website, Not Going to Uni, Rate My Apprenticeship, Course Map, Amazing Apprenticeships, and also the Festival of Apprenticeships as well. There's lots of information that's available. It is just a matter of searching through and finding the best resource for yourself. So now we're going to move into a few interviews that we've done over the last few weeks, and this is where an opportunity for you to meet some real life apprentices and find out what's making them tick and how they're getting on within their work placements.
So I'm here today to talk to Luke, one of our apprentices on his digital marketer level 3 apprenticeship program. So Luke, what initially made you think of an apprenticeship?
Well, I've already been an apprentice once before, and quite frankly, it was such an enjoyable experience for me. I had an absolutely amazing time on it. I learned so much. I learned a whole bunch of new skills that I go today. I was like, well, if I'm moving to a new sector, why not do it again? So with that, I geared up, and then obviously I was offered, saw this opportunity. I was like, this is a great chance to get into a new sector, learn new skills, learn a whole bunch of new stuff that I've never done before. And so far, I would say it's really been rewarding for me.
Brilliant. So when you were thinking about sort of an apprenticeship or going into a new sector, was it just apprenticeships you thought of? Did you look at any other opportunities or other routes such as college courses or part-time studying?
I did originally look at colleges and universities and all that stuff, but I previously did summer camps in universities, and I can't do lectures. That's one thing I found out about myself very early on. I can't do lectures. I find them too boring. I need to be involved doing something. And with colleges, I don't think I could do that other classroom learning again. I was a bit tired of it. I did sixth form at that point, and I couldn't do it anymore. So at that point, I took all my skills. I was like, I'm going to do an apprenticeship, or I'm either going to get a full-time job. And when I saw an apprenticeship open up, I was like, that's a great chance to apply the skills that I have and continue developing more and more, and then eventually get out into a full-time career. And yeah, really the goal has always been that after I learned my restrictions, really.
Okay. So when you think about sort of going to your apprenticeship or going to work, what sort of things is it that sort of motivates you and inspires you to sort of carry on with it and see it through?
It's really that no 2 days are the same. It's sound very stereotypical, but when I'm an apprentice, I'm always like, okay, what new? What's something new that I can learn? Quite frankly, it's always been that. It's always learning something new, doing something different, whether that's doing social media or going out, talking to clients, or just talking to...
Coming here being interviewed.
Yeah, coming here, being interviewed.
Something different for you.
Yeah, or just doing events. And quite frankly, I've learned so much in that time about what I actually enjoy doing.
So just to pick up on that, so what sort of things have you learnt then? So with that apprenticeship, you're 6 months in. What would you say you've been exposed to? What have been your experiences? What have you had the opportunity of learning about?
When I came in, I knew nothing about digital marketing. Quite frankly, when I started it, I was like, back in my media course, I was like, I'm not a fan of digital marketing. But after that first week, I was like, there's so much more to this. Designing all the posts, scheduling them all this different software that I've never known about, like all this CRM stuff. I was like, I have no idea how they manage all that stuff. Now I do. Now I know all this software stuff that I'm like, that's really interesting. The software is great to use. I love it. I'll become a rep for it if I can. Please sponsor me.
So if you think back to sort of days at college and in a classroom environment, you said before, you couldn't go back to that as a route. So being in that working environment, how do you think you're more or you're better prepared now for those next steps in your career?
I just feel like I have the experience to tackle most situations that get thrown away. I'm not going to say, oh, I don't think anyone's ever prepared for every situation, but it's just that knowing that I'm ready for most of the things you could throw at me, but you could be like, oh, yeah, go put this thing together. I'm probably like, yeah, I can probably do about 95% of it. If I need 5% help, or either Google it or go ask someone for help. And I think that's what I find is a great experience. It's just knowing that either I can ask for help at any point during the apprenticeship about, quite frankly, I don't know what to do here, or I feel a bit lost here, and then go to a tutor or the mentor or the manager and go, just throw me a bone, or it's just really just constantly doing work and just constantly broadening your horizons at any point.
So within your job role and on your apprenticeship, do you have people that sort of regularly give you feedback and are there to sort of support and mentor you as well?
I would say so. I would say I can always gauge feedback on posts from how the interactions are, or what people are saying about them, or even if someone pulls me aside and say, hey, I really like what you've been doing with the marketing recently, or hey, I'm not too big on what you're doing recently, can we change it up a bit? And yeah, quite frankly, that instant feedback I've been getting has been great. Like for you, for example, you keep giving me feedback all the time, and it's constantly broadening my horizons, constantly developing my skills, and really thankful for that.
And so I think we'll end it there for the moment. I think that's a good sort of section into it.
So now I'm joined by Sunil, one of our digital marketing apprentices. Can I ask you to tell us a bit about yourself, Sunil?
Yeah, my name is Sunil Randawa, and I'm working with Pathway Group. I'm doing a level 3 digital marketing apprenticeship.
Okay, so talk to us a bit about the day in the life of an apprentice then. What does your day-to-day work look like, and your personal life as well?
So day to day, it's coming into the office, looking at what tasks I've got planned for the day, managing my expectations, speaking to my peers, and then there's also like a learning side as well with the apprenticeship. So when you go home or have spare time, it's about logging off the job hours and filling out other criteria and assessments, anything that's available as well.
Brilliant. And what sort of feedback do you get within the apprenticeship itself? So obviously the feedback on the work that you completed for the apprenticeship, but what about the feedback that you get for the work that you completed in there as well? How's that given to you?
So giving constructive criticism or positive as well. So just about incorporating that as well, seeing where I can improve and what I've done well, and then just trying to learn from that and just take the experiences, good and bad.
Yeah, okay, brilliant. And what do you really enjoy about what you're doing at the moment?
So I really do like digital marketing. I think this is a career that I would hopefully like to stay in for the rest of my career. And it's just about meeting people, learning information, and actually enjoying the information and what you've been learning as well. So that's probably.
But you've come into quite sort of a new sort of initiative for ourselves and a bit of innovation at the same time. Yeah. How are you finding sort of interacting with all these new sort of colleagues?
Honestly, it's been really a real good experience. I've been really enjoying it, and it's just about learning from others as well and seeing what they've been doing and how the sort of journeys that they've been on as well, and then applying that to myself and seeing where I can go as well from there.
Brilliant. And I know from the panel discussion earlier as well, we spoke about university. That's something you, when you sort of graduate, you're then looking for opportunities. Do you feel that if you would have known about apprenticeships, maybe it's sort of school and college, would that be something that have influenced your decision on how you move forward from there?
Yeah, most definitely. Since I was at school, the idea of an apprenticeship wasn't really brought forward to me. It was more about physical things like carpentry and stuff like that. I didn't really know you could do a digital marketing apprenticeship.
Yeah.
I thought, because at university I studied business management and economics, and the course that I'm doing now, the apprenticeship, kind of links in with that. So hopefully once I do get more qualification, I can meld them both together and then further my career in digital marketing or business.
Thank you very much for your time, and thank you for sharing that with us as well.
Thank you.
Okay, and now I'm joined by Shaheen Noor. Shaheen Noor, tell us a bit about the role that you're conducting at the moment as part of your apprenticeship.
So at the moment, I'm on an apprenticeship, a digital marketing level 3 apprenticeship. Currently working for HR Link, which works with companies under it such as S4A and WMHC, which is a care provider and a support provider. And I feel like I'm coming along well in this apprenticeship so far.
Brilliant, great. So I know when we met sort of 12 months ago, we were talking about your journey, the experiences you've been through. Just tell me a bit about your journey to get to where you are now.
All right. So initially, I've always known that I want to get into marketing. Well, a creative career. Mainly, I think during lockdown, and straight after, I did apply for a Kickstarter, and I did a digital marketing Kickstarter at Math Trust. I was there for, I think, roughly 6 months, and then I decided, you know what, this is something I do want to continue with. I've enjoyed it. So I did do a skills boot camp to get that extra knowledge. So then I did that for 2 months, and straight after I was actually linked with Pathways, where I actually did a month. Was
Yeah.
it a month? We did voluntary internship, and then I actually signed on as a digital engagement assistant. We were here for like a couple of months where I learned the basics. I learned about WordPress, Canva, all these design skills, and then I think after a while I did actually get onto an apprenticeship. Yeah.
Fantastic. Yeah, so that's where you are now with HR Link. Tell us a bit about what your day to day in terms of digital marketing looks like for what you do for HR Link.
So it would be, well, you start your day off by obviously looking through emails, what needs to get done. You know, obviously get like your content scheduled up for the day. So it'd be like your posts, your all your media content, maybe some actual leaflets, flyers. But yeah, you'd also have a portion of your time spending on the website. Obviously, that's key because that's where all the traffic's coming in.
Yeah.
So that's quite important. And I think that's
That essentially is what a digital marketer does. It's never one set sort of schedule, and you can sort of swap and change quite easily. Okay, tell me a bit about the sort of skills that you've been learning on your apprenticeship then. What sort of things have you been sort of learning about? What have you been developing?
I myself, I know I lack this a lot. It was my organizational skills. I know I've had quite a big difficulty with it, but obviously having this role, this kind of apprenticeship, it kind of builds your organization skills, scheduling stuff, having them lined up, noting everything down. Also, it kind of improved my creative skills. It's helped me with my branding guidelines, like branding in general for a company as well. I would say definitely.
Yeah. Brilliant, great. Well, thank you very much for your time.
I appreciate that.
So now I'm joined by Hira, one of our digital marketing apprentices. Hira, tell us a bit about yourself.
So, hi, I'm Hira Khan, and I'm working with my building supplies, doing level 3 digital marketing with Pathways.
Brilliant. Okay, Hira, I'm always fascinated with your journeys from when we first met, sort of July, August last year. Understanding what your journey has sort of entailed, really. Can you tell us a bit about how you came in touch with Pathway Group and sort of why you could then consider an apprenticeship?
Well, in STAR, I actually graduated from architecture, and I went to like a couple of interviews, like we have to find job, and I lack confidence. So in STAR, I couldn't do like good interviews, and then after that, I'm not good enough, and I never applied for jobs, and I just cut down from everyone, like never talked to anyone. And then one of my friends, she was like doing customer service course, and she was like, join in. So I was like, yeah, sure, I will do something at least better than sitting at home. So when I started it, I kind of enjoyed it because it was learning new skills. It was like general knowledge because I always like that as well.
Yeah.
And then they recommended that I should do apprenticeship. They arranged like a couple of interviews for me. One was in like finance something, and then digital marketing. I think there was another one, but forgot.
That's okay.
But yeah, so I chose digital marketing because it was mostly linked to my architecture, my background, but more like creative. So when I started doing the apprenticeship, in like 1 or 2 months, I realized that's like something I enjoy the most because it's very connected to what I used to do, like architecture, the same kind of techniques, the same software I'm using as well. So I really enjoy it. It's really the same way.
And I know from obviously the conversation you had with the careers advisor Roger and myself as well, we were always looking at how can we bring sort of architecture and that digital marketing together. And as you say, sort of a few months in, you had that sort of epiphany moment to think, actually, it's all the software, all the skills I've got, I can apply in here. And you've created some lovely sort of artwork for My Building Supplies on there, then main website, all the digital sort of sketches and things that you've done. And they're very sort of enticing for customers to sort of see and well, to sort of showcase at the same time. So well done there. Talk to me a bit about the sort of the day-to-day things. So you've talked a bit about obviously the software and things are the same. What sort of things are you doing on a day-to-day for My Building Supplies?
Well, in start, I used to mostly manage the social media, like making content for Instagram, and I actually like doing a website as well, changing the images, making more a better quality and etc. Editing the images. But very recently, that I'm like very proud of, I'm doing it is I'm making illustration for all the products, like how to use it, and I
Yeah.
edit to website as well as like Instagram as well, so people can see how this product is used,
Yeah.
such as like say insulation. So I do advertisement for insulation, and then I want like a kind of a simple illustration how the insulation goes between the walls. So it's kind of like digital marketing, like and then as well as architecture. So
Yeah,
I'm really
at the
enjoying
same
doing
time. So
that. Yeah.
it's bringing all the things that you love about architecture
Yeah.
and also digital marketing together at the same time,
Yes.
which is great. And there's some lovely artwork that you've created that are out on Instagram and on the website as well. You've even encouraged me to follow My Building Supplies on Instagram. So well done there. So now just talk to me a bit about that sort of the plans for after your apprenticeship.
Mhm.
So I know that's sort of a key part. You've got these two interests that you really enjoy now. What do you see in the future for yourself?
Well, after finishing this apprenticeship, I'm planning to apply for architecture jobs still. I'm getting that confident now.
Yeah.
But my main goal is to like bring them together, like applying for jobs in digital marketing post in like architecture or construction
Yeah.
firms. So I can do both of them. Well, even if I go for architecture, it still involves so much of digital marketing.
Yeah.
That's why I enjoy it, because when I was used to do like projects in architecture, it was same, like making clients, making the advertisement, like trying to showcase to the world.
Yeah.
So it involves everything. Like I'm like really grateful that I'm doing digital marketing apprenticeship, because it will make me experience both, and
Yeah.
I feel like I would never get lost in future. I would know which way to go. No architecture, digital marketing. If not like architecture firm, then other like product designing or any digital marketing companies, like everything's creative. So
Brilliant.
that's what I enjoy the most.
Fantastic, and it's great to hear. So, okay, now we're going to speak to some of our digital marketing apprentices here at Pathway Group. If I can ask you to introduce yourself.
Hi, I'm Shahinur Islam. I've been with this apprenticeship at Pathways since August, and I'm currently doing a digital marketing level 3 apprenticeship, coming up from a traineeship and an internship with Pathways themselves.
Fantastic. Luke?
My name's Luke Markham. I'm a digital engagement assistant at Pathway Group. I've been doing my apprenticeship since August, and yeah.
Fantastic. And Hira, can I ask you to introduce yourself?
And I'm Hira Khan, doing apprenticeship with Pathway as well, with my building supplies.
And Sunil?
Yeah, my name is Sunil Randawa. I'm a digital engagement assistant, and I'm doing an internship at Pathway Group. I also started my apprenticeship in August, doing a level 3 digital marketing apprenticeship.
Fantastic. So there you've had the opportunity of meeting our apprentices here, very much well into their way of becoming professional digital marketers. During this panel discussion, we want to have that conversation of why we actually chose apprenticeship. So just to open up to yourselves, why was an apprenticeship the choice that you made sort of around last August? Anybody?
Well, I enjoyed. So I've previously done an apprenticeship before, so it's not the, even though the standard has changed. Back when I did it, EPAs actually weren't a thing, but it's just been a eye-opening experience for myself, learning all these new stuff. It's always I think it's a great way of getting into a new industry, because you learn a whole bunch of stuff. Everyone seems to be welcoming and friendly, and really you can always ask for help if you need it.
So Luke, you're on your second apprenticeship. Is anybody on their first apprenticeship?
Me?
Yeah, so I think that's for the rest of you anyway. So Hira, can I ask, why did you sort of go with that apprenticeship?
Well, at first I didn't want to do apprenticeship, to be honest. I wasn't ready to go to like education, back to education, because I did a university degree, and people at Pathway, they convinced me that you should try, just like for try. If you like it, you can continue. If you don't, then you can leave it. And then I started my apprenticeship in August as well, and after a month or so I started to enjoy it. I was like, it's a great experience, because it's a job experience as well as educational. It's like you have a card where you can experience a professional area, and then as well as can make mistakes and improve your skills.
Brilliant.
So
Thank you. Fantastic.
that's why.
Let's know yourself. Why did you choose an apprenticeship?
Yeah, I'm in a similar scenario to Hira. I went to university as well, and the idea of an apprenticeship wasn't really brought up to me. And then obviously through Pathway Group as well, I was thought to try it out, and yeah, I've really enjoyed it, and I can see myself getting into the profession as well, and it's good work experience and learning on the job. So I think it's a really good option.
Fantastic, thank you. Shahinor, you mentioned there that you had done some traineeship, so you've done other training and things before. What led you to an apprenticeship? Did you know it was an apprenticeship that you wanted to do, or was it you had to go through certain elements first?
Initially, I did want to get into apprenticeship. Not apprenticeship, sorry, digital marketing. I knew I wanted to get into that, but it was mainly like, how do I get my foot through the door? And there is other routes. I knew there was like, I could go through university, but then I lack experience, and this is a very experience-based field. So then I thought, all right, I'll do a traineeship, get my knowledge up to date, and then get the actual work experience, and that led me to an apprenticeship.
Brilliant. Okay, and the good thing is you've also said a key word there, which is what comes with apprenticeship, is that work experience.
Yeah.
What do you feel that work experience is giving you at the moment? How is that making you better at what you do?
Well, really, I feel like I learn something new nearly every day. Just constantly just challenging yourself and constantly growing on that. So with every day there comes a new experience, new responsibilities, and like, so we've recently been just pushing a whole bunch of stuff, and I didn't see myself doing that like a couple months ago. Just doing all this whole bunch of stuff, and it's just.
So it's the new opportunities that actually brings at the same time. Does anybody else want to sort of contribute in terms of the work experience element? How does that make you sort of better? So when you think of your sort of next career steps, how is that making you better for the future?
Yeah, I think the most important thing is one thing learning, but it's a different thing actually going into work and getting that real experience. And I think that's probably the most important thing to me. And it's like what Shahino said as well, getting your foot through the door and going from there, and then trying to make a career as well.
Brilliant, great. So again, that sort of key word in there for me is sort of career. Do we all have ideas and aspirations of what we plan to move on to next? So Shahinor, you were mentioning before in terms of you wanted to get into digital marketing, and you knew you had to sort of do that training side. Is that still the plan for you to sort of go further in?
I do plan on moving forward into digital marketing, gain more experience, gain more knowledge in the field. And hopefully at some point in my life, I do want to kind of start my own business and then kind of use my own marketing skills to kind of push that business. Yeah.
So at the same time, it's that sort of entrepreneurialism as well, sort of developing these. And that's for myself, it's the benefit of being in sort of that workplace environment, because you will learn new things, especially when you've got new people and other people around you. You have to sort of learn off them quite easily. So if I was to ask you all to say, what is the best part about your apprenticeship and obviously your work placement, what would sort of spring to mind for you?
The best thing, probably the working and the learning for me.
Yeah, I would agree.
Yeah, it's like constantly just, like I said, I keep bringing this up, just constantly learning new things. And that's the thing I really do enjoy, just constantly getting that new information.
Brilliant. And over to this side?
I think it's the working environment as well. It's the people you meet and people with similar experiences that have gone through apprenticeships, and you can see how they've furthered their careers as well, and it gives you like an insight of what you can do as well in the future. So that's probably the most important thing for me.
Brilliant, thank you. Okay, and that's all we've got time for on this occasion, but we'll look to catch up with our digital marketing apprentices again in the next few months, and hopefully we're at the point where we look at taking those next steps on our career journey. Thank you. Hopefully it's recording back there. So how was that for everybody? That wasn't too bad, was it?
Yeah, that's all right.
Yeah, I feel like a bit of a TV host, I think, at the same time.
So you give me a sense of like
Good morning, Britain.
Yeah, might be.